Hello and welcome to Section 3, Part 1 of the Prince2 Practitioner Certification Training Program from trainingsdirect.com. This section is about the processes, in particular the activities within a process and the tailoring of each process. At the foundation level, you would have obtained an understanding of the purpose and objectives of every process. Herein, we are going to go deeper into the activities within a process and the tailoring of each process. Let's begin with the first one, which is starting up a project process, or SU in short. The starting up a project process is basically about asking the question, is it worth investing in this project? Therefore, it should be a quick process to make a decision whether the project can be planned in more detail after that. In order to do that, the following activities must occur. Appoint executive and project manager. Capture previous lessons. Design and appoint the project management team. Prepare the outline business case. Select the project approach and assemble the project brief. And plan the initiation stage or the initiate stage. A quick look at this through a visual diagram. Which has the same 6 activities. So this box, which begins from here and ends here, is the box for starting up a project process. It connects with the corporate management first. So the corporate management issues the trigger or the project mandate for the project, which could be a business challenge to be addressed by a project. And as soon as the trigger is received in this process, an executive is appointed. And this executive will also appoint the project manager. The project manager then begins to capture lessons from previous projects of a similar nature. At the same time, the executive may start preparing the outline business case. And if the PM is already available, the executive may take support from the PM to write the business case. However, it is the executive who owns the business case at this moment. And even afterwards, it is the executive who is the owner of the business case. After capturing the lessons, the project manager will design the project management team, meaning will write down the role descriptions of the project management team. For example, the role description of the senior user, senior supplier, etc. and present the design to the executive who will review it, and together they will appoint the project management team with the executive confirming the appointments. And in some cases, the corporate management may also reconfirm some of the appointments. Afterwards, the project manager selects the project approach and assembles the project brief in consultation with the other stakeholders like senior user, etc. The project brief is a collection of information about the project. Project brief along with the initiation stage plan, both are created by the PM and presented to the project board to initiate a project. This request goes to the directing a project process through which the project initiation may be authorized. Let us continue on the tailoring and guidance of this. Tailoring and other guidance. As the project output, the solution products that is not normally fully clear during starting up, at least the business problem or outcome should be specified in the project brief as part of the project product description. It is in the starting up a project process that the project product description is defined. In consultation with the senior user, the project manager documents the project product description. But it is possible that the senior user is not able to fully articulate their needs, but they may be able to specify what their business problem is or what they are expecting as a change to their business. And that may be documented initially, and afterwards during the initiation stage, the project product description may be expanded further with a clear solution definition as to what the customer, what the senior user expects. Or rather than saying a solution, it could be a clear expectations from the senior user. In case the project approach and solutions are not known, the project brief should describe how and when these will be detailed. The project approach is mainly about whether the project would be agile or waterfall, whether it will be in-source or outsource, whether it will build a new product or enhance an existing product, or whether any other special features are required like security or safety, etc. If that is not known, and also the solutions based on the expectation of the customer documented in the project product description, if the solution for that is not clearly known, then the project brief should describe how and when these solutions will be detailed. For example, they may be detailed in individual stages or in the initiation stage plan. Please do note, however, that the product descriptions are finalized in the initiation stage, whereas the project product description should be finalized in the starting up. If not, it should be done in the initiation stage. And that is the message indicated by the first and second items here. The executive may perform the PM's document work until the latter is appointed. So if the PM is not recruited for some time, then the executive may start doing other things like reviewing the previous lessons log and all that. For projects within the program, starting up is the most impacted process, mostly performed by the program manager. Meaning the program manager will play an active role in this process by creating the outline business case, producing the project brief, etc., working with the project manager if the project manager is available. Let us look at a visual presentation of information coming in this process. This picture clearly indicates the pre-project work using the starting up a project process or SCO. This process also indicates the detailed work under the initiation stage, which uses the initiating a project process, managing stage boundary process. The directing a project process is applicable throughout the project. In starting up a project process, it is a project mandate which triggers the pre-project work. That is when the project manager creates a project brief, which will include the outline business case documented by the executive. It will also include the project approach documented by the PM in consultation, and a project product description in consultation with senior users, and the project management team structure and roles. Most of the information here is created by the project manager in consultation. It also has a project definition with a description of the project and the project level tolerances. These tolerances are taken from the project mandate. Project mandate also has sufficient information about who the executive should be and all the characteristics of the executive. Continuing on tailoring and guidance. The project mandate should contain sufficient information to identify the prospect executive for the project. Because as soon as the mandate comes in, a decision should be made on who can be the executive. For example, the project mandate may have a statement regarding the business problem. Like, for example, the business problem could be lack of productivity in the organization. And due to that, they may expect some kind of an automation to be done. Therefore, a suitable person for this project could be, a suitable executive for this project could be somebody who has some experience in automation or understands automation, but who has a financial eye in order to ensure value for money and business viability. The project mandate can be RFP, request for proposal, or a feasibility study. A request for proposal is usually sent out by a buyer to solicit sellers. When they send a request for proposal, it usually has a business problem and they expect a solution to the business problem from potential suppliers. And they will eventually evaluate the responses from the suppliers, meaning the proposals from the suppliers, and pick the solution which is most technically competitive and which will solve their business problem. And after that, they may look at the pricing from the supplier before entering a contract with the supplier. In case of a program, the project brief will be from the program, and some project board members may be from the program. While we said before that the project brief will be part of the starting up a project process created by the project manager in consultation, but in case of a program, this may be provided by the program, meaning the program will understand the business case and other things about the project to provide the project brief. And it is okay if some project board members like the executive, senior user, or senior supplier are from the program. For example, a business change manager from the program may be the senior user, or program manager could be the executive. Appointment of executive is a prerequisite for project justification. While we have the project mandate as a trigger to the project, without the executive, no one will be able to create a project justification. Therefore, it is important to appoint an executive as a prerequisite for justifying a project. Project approach dependencies. The project approach meaning deciding whether to have a waterfall or agile project, or whether to insource or outsource development, or whether to create a new product or enhance an existing product, or any other design approaches, etc. That can be decided well depending on the following. It depends on the customers and suppliers practices and standard, operational environment constraints, implications like deployment and training, security constraints of the project and operations, as well as organization strategies. Time to reflect on the learnings and make a note of things you might want to read further in the manual or apply in your daily practice.